Hi guys, so I'm making a 4-layer response video, basically me reacting to BadEmpanada, reacting to the Mama, reacting to Bad Mouse, reacting to the Bosch versus Professor Flowers debate. Um, this is, yeah, no words really. So for most of the video, I agree with BadEmpanada. Indeed, up until this point, I have basically no complaints. Yeah. Um, by the way, this is the video lecturing ignorant no tail on basics of racism and secular colonialism, featuring Bad Mouse. Nothing to say really. This is the part where I start actually disagreeing in some parts. On one, that does not mean I agree with Demon, because I simply don't. Um, she could not have made a worse point, and BB could not have made a worse response to the response. Um, So yeah, let's see like what I'm talking about.
But like I said, we live in a world made up of nations. And until that physically goes away, anything else is, again, just vague gesturing. No. We get to call out some fucking statist propaganda right here. This is lifestyle anarchism par excellence. We live in a world made up of states. Actually true. Statist propaganda. We don't live in a world made up of states.
Indeed, that is not anarchist. She makes an extremely bad point. Honestly, we should probably still engage in like these kinds of struggles, like for example between Israel and Palestine, because um there may or may not be like the fact that Israel is currently committing genocide against Palestine, and yeah, it's kind of needed to support them. I mean, to support Palestine, and yeah, this is essentially just yeah, simply not the best response ever. And to be fair, B admits in another part of the video, I think later maybe, I don't remember correctly. I was on the stream, but yeah, I don't remember correctly. That he said that he had never seen a non-Western anarchist. For example, I am from Argentina, so quite literally the same country where Peace lives in. Um, yeah.
Liberation doesn't matter. Oh, if she does the thing where she's like,
It matters. That is that is literally using basically yeah, anarchism, and like using it to further her basically yeah, basically like imperialist liberal agenda. And yeah, B seems to think that this is like a legitimate that she's like a legitimate voice, and like actually knows anything of what she's talking about. Like she's actually portraying anarchism. Spoiler, she isn't.
no Palestine or Israel. Abolish Palestine and Israel. Fuck Palestine.
I mean, if I had the chance, I mean, yes, but considering that probably that's not going to happen too soon, yeah, we're probably going to just have to support Palestine, and yeah, like maybe someday, yeah, be able to like not have any at all. Like the zero state solution isn't really like an actual solution, or at least like not one that we can implement like relatively quickly. So yeah, for until we can do that, I basically like probably would prefer 2 states, but yeah, really not what you would want, honestly, and yeah, but realistically, like this 0-state solution isn't going to happen even if we want to, even if like literally everyone supports it. It's still quite far from reality.
Nationalism and Israeli nationalism. That's like the anarchist take on Israel-Palestine.
No, it isn't. Again, B seems to think that she actually knows anything about anarchism, and she's actually using it like she's genuinely like using the 0-state solution. Um, yeah, simply not, simply not the truth. Yeah.
Completely fucking ignores that when you are oppressed on a national basis, that national oppression needs to be fucking dealt with above all else.
Yes. Again, obviously, it is far harder than just remove like the state entity of like Israel and Palestine. GG, we did it. Like no more like Palestinian oppression. Obviously, it's harder than that. It's quite literally comparable to saying anarchism is well known law. So yeah, why isn't like everyone would just murder each other? That is not how it works. And yeah, essentially, it does not actually care about like the actual ways of achieving that and like the context behind it that yeah makes it the way it is.
That right there is statist propaganda. That is,
It isn't. Again, she tries to like portray herself as an anarchist, but really, yeah, probably it's quite obvious that she doesn't know like even yeah she doesn't know what she's talking about, or yeah, essentially like just using the absolute most generic argument, I mean the worst way possible. And B seems to think that that is genuinely how anarchism is. It isn't. There's actually nuance behind everything. Um, like for example, I once was in a discussion, like a comment thread, like a few years ago. You probably won't find the video. um, Basically, the user that I was talking about, was saying that if we just give like, people like homeless people homes to live in, the free market will just collapse because, yeah, it will not be profitable. Yeah, bitch, I know. That's why I want to abolish the free market and replace it with like, you know, um, yeah, stuff like, just giving stuff to people if they want to or like they need to. Like more easy ways, more obvious ways.
I say statist propaganda. Statist propaganda. Statist propaganda. It's simply not true. See, I strongly disagree with this position. I don't care if you strongly disagree with it. It's factually true. We live.
It probably is. Depends, but yeah.
In a world of nations and states, but that does not mean that we have to engage in a conflict of nation state. It's like fucking vibrant.
We need to or at least like when like literally an entire people like an entire ethnicity is like trying to be genocided of like the face of earth. Yeah, we probably should do something about it. Yeah, in some cases, in some pretty particular cases, by the way, not necessarily all of them, but like definitely between those cases is the one between Israel and Palestine. that we should engage with. Um, but yeah, she doesn't seem to want to because again she's basically just using like um anarchism in a bad way to actually like argue for um imperialism and like yeah basically liberalism. There's literally nothing else behind that. But yeah, we're still going to like respond to some of the rest of the video.
Rating here. I want to die. Direct nation-state conflict. In fact, I think that perpetuates the problem. The answer to nation-states is... You know what perpetuates the Palestinian struggle against Israeli colonialism? It's not Israeli colonialism. It's the Palestinians fight back. It's that Palestinians even have a national identification and national aspiration in the first place. Status propaganda. I cannot...
That is indeed a bad argument. But again, that is because it is a liberal argument, not an anarchist argument. Again, yeah, we should probably know better at this point. Like, many of these, like, basically centrist, progressive centrists, like, or basically neoliberal centrists, like, will try to portray themselves as less leftist, but yeah, it really doesn't actually happen, or yeah, they simply aren't. Yeah, this is pretty much the result of that failure. Yeah, B seems to like just be unaware of that. Yeah, I don't know if it's intentional, but yeah, let's just continue with the video.
fucking believe. Refusing to engage in the nation's...
I also cannot believe it. At least not in this case. Yeah.
State. In my opinion, most places. I think there are rooms... I think there's... Look at you refusing to engage in the nation state right now. You're doing a really good job of it, aren't you? Counts to say that some nationalistic-based struggles have had successes. I just don't think it's the great answer. Was this the dude? Okay. What's your alternative? Where's your successful anarchist movement? They don't fucking exist!
They exist. I could point to like, okay, I'm not going to spoil the rest of the video, or at least like the next part.
They literally don't exist. Some national-based movements have had success. Very true. Not just some. Many. Countless dozens. Now, let's compare them with the alternative. The anti-state, the anti-national liberation movement position that she seems to be espousing here. List of successes. Zero. Zero. Ever. None. Absolutely fucking none. Now, of course, anarchists like to say that Rojava, for example, is...
Yes, indeed. Literally like, that has literally like, an extremely active anarchism movement. Literally like, also like, yeah, an horizontal army. Yeah, pretty much like, what you could consider an anarchist state if like you actually knew something about Rojava. Maybe like you may need some research.
Anarchist. It's not. It's literally the most generic example of state capitalism you could ever imagine. They like this.
There's no state, there's no capitalism. What the fuck are you talking about? Literally neither of those two things. Yeah, good luck trying to like find pretty much like any one of what you might consider a bourgeois. Like, yeah, there simply are, and they were all killed. They have literally like basically no hierarchy. Literally like anarchy means literally no hierarchy. Let's just continue.
Zapatistas, the EZLN, are anarchists. They explicitly say that they aren't anarchists and that they're an organization with people of many different ideologies.
If you have actually watched like, if you actually know basically how the Zapatistas are like organized, You know that isn't true. Like, also, have you heard of like movements that basically don't call themselves what they really are? For example, um, Lenin and his party weren't actually called like the Marxist-Leninist Party of Russia. They were called the Social Democratic Party or Democratic Socialist Party. I don't really remember, but yeah, this is in order to like not be all executed immediately. Um, and yeah, like portray themselves as more neutral than what they really are.
Who simply essentially take on the role of a municipal government with very much status level of organization. You know, they have their own little police force, they have their own like municipality organized medical centers, they organize essentially.
They don't. This is literally something that doesn't happen. Pretty much all of the police is probably from Mexico. That is definitely true. I mean, I think he's still talking about the Zapatistas, right? Yeah, in that case, yeah, they don't really have exactly like um, that much of a massive holy shit what happened. Anyway, yeah, they really don't have like that defined of a territory. Yeah, like they're more in groups and not like a cohesive like actual front. Um, yeah, that is why you may lead to believe that yeah they actually have a police force or army or like yeah municipalities. They don't. That they are from Mexico, who is trying to like yeah who controls those areas and yeah pretty much semi occupies part of the Zapatista territory. Yeah, not going to continue this. You get the point. They are anarchists. Let's continue.
In the same way that a generic statist municipality government does. So all of the examples that they try to claim successes are not anarchists. And the examples that they discount have
They are. I explained why. Yeah, just rewind like a minute or two.
achieved so much more than any anarchist movement ever has. And I don't think this particularly has much to say about anarchism as a whole. I think it says a lot that.
Also, it's indeed like anarchism has had many games over the years. So, for example, like I could give to the example that May the 1st, the 40-hour work week, far more labor rights that I'm probably forgetting. Um, yeah, and such like, but yeah, um, yeah, they are not important.
About like the insecurities that anarchists feel because they don't actually have any practical examples for the things that they prescribe. They don't have any practical example of, say, anything that you're saying here actually happening. Like, why should we give you the time of day when your critique of this sort of advocacy for national liberation can provide zero examples of an alternative?
Feels like he's
Um, Again, that is circular logic. We do not have any examples of that working, so why try to like actually, you know, make an example of that working? That is not how it works. All right. Yeah, let's continue.
he supports the
National
Holocaust.
liberation perspective of, you know, when you as a nation, as a group, are oppressed on that basis, fighting that must take precedent over anything else before you can even think of, you know, any moving forward to anything better. That sort of thinking has led to so much more just improvement and good in the world, what someone like this would probably call harm reduction and frame as good, than anything resembling anarchism has ever even remotely came close to achieving. So
Again, but harm reduction is good, but yeah, it's not the end all be all. I mean, yeah, for the meantime, I guess we're going to have to stick to like supporting Palestine and yeah, two states, like or at least advocating for a two-state solution to this like mess. But yeah, it would be pretty cool to like have a plan eventually like that could be the better. And yeah, in at least in theory, probably yeah seems to be much better. But yeah, um, that is not going to happen very soon. But that doesn't mean that we should yeah absolutely like forget that like trying to like make another trying to make another angle at this. Yeah, basically just saying whatever comes to mind. I guess my point, I already gave my point. Um, that we should probably eventually have like a plan moving forward.
Well, from the get-go, we're not really exactly dealing with equal concepts here. Chat that likened pro-flowers versus vaush to Malcolm versus MLK. I don't know if it was, but this is a you can see this person's bias leaking in. The idea that the world is a world of nations and states, and that we must engage on the terms of nations. The world isn't.
I mean, yes, it is.
Nation of nations and states. Yes, states is it's.
Yes. At least today, I don't know, maybe like in 300 years, like the entire world will be like one big anarchist territory. But yeah, we can't really tell. Yeah, material reality. You might have heard of that before. Maybe, but
So weird because I'm 100% sure that she uses the phrase harm reduction. Let me check. So it's like harm reduction, right? For her, we need to reduce harm using the presently existing frameworks of nation and states. But
I mean, yes. For the meantime, but yeah, like again, when for example, like harm reduction is brought out to the table, like for example, in cases like I don't know, like voting Biden, yeah, we cannot just rely 100% on like just doing that because you know yeah it doesn't do any good for us for our movement. um to be fair, this is a less extreme example, like at least it isn't literally as bad as voting Biden, but it's still understandable that yeah harm reduction isn't that good.
also, we should not do that. Okay, easy to find. Here's the Imam talking about harm reduction using status frameworks for harm reduction. Apparently, acknowledging that exact same sort of argument in the case of national liberation movements is somehow wrong, and we should like.
Again, she does that because she's a liberal, not an anarchist. Yeah, her attempt like try to use yeah some sort of an attempt at an anarchist framework about to like just to like on the tankies as they will say isn't really good, isn't really great. And yeah, she should probably stop pretending. Bree should probably like um yeah not believe her with her claims of like yeah.
Pay credence to completely unproven lifestyle anarchist ideas of how the world should be instead, and just ignore the incredibly pressing issues of national liberation.
Again, that is because she's an actual anarchist. She's just using this here state solution to basically to further her agenda basically. Yeah, just in this case. I'm quite sure I could go to her channel and literally like probably find examples of like um of her being like against anarchism. Quite sure. But yeah, I guess I'll gotta test. I gotta see that later. Yeah, let's continue.
That can either choose to, that those fighting for that liberation can either choose to solve them in ways that have been proven to function in practice, or just adopt your idealistic notion of how things should be. Doesn't work very well. I don't know why I haven't stopped.
I mean, to be fair, like, obviously not now, but yeah, eventually.
That is not.
Again, the zero-state solution isn't meant to be like something that could happen like next week, but something that will have to happen like after many years, after like, yeah, you understand, you get it. B's like interpretation of her argument is wrong because her argument is shit. Yeah, she tries to pretend B actually believes that, and like basically yep, just a mirror.
You have to actually evidence. I want to see what BadEmpanada has to say. So, in a situation such as Israel-Palestine, we can now better understand the dynamics involved and the stakes they play. Palestinians, which, remember, doesn't exclude indigenous Jews and other MENA minorities, are, as of current, the indigenous group of today. Not because they lived there for a while, but because of a shared experience through contrast to a dominant group.
That is indeed true. Yeah, basically, I mean, yeah, they were like a majority, and like, before World War II, like, they were like 90%, I think, something like that, pretty high up, like, percent of the population. Then like after World War II, yeah, mass immigration came, and yeah, I'm not against like immigration. I mean, yeah, like any leftist should be like in favor of them, or at least like, not support building a huge wall, like. But yeah, the bad thing is when you like literally go establish an ethno state, like where you immigrated to, and like start committing genocide against the native population, like what happened here, what happened in pretty much the US also, etc., etc.
Just like the Maori are indigenous to New Zealand, even though they only arrived some 300 years before the Europeans did. Jewish people, of course, still have the right to self-determination. They still exist today as a minoritized group. What that does not suddenly grant them, however, is rule over a land because their people happened to live there some time ago.
That is true. Yeah. Yes, probably quite uncontroversially true, I think.
He shot himself in the foot with this example here. How? He shot himself in the foot. This framework,
True. How? I will have to like agree with B for this part of the video. To be fair, I have to remind you again that I support B. I agree with him. Like for most of the rest of the video, I just want to make a response to like the only part where I disagree with.
Framework doesn't work to analyze Israel-Palestine. Yes, it does. It literally just did. He just applied it to it. That was the most basic fucking Israel-Palestine explanation of settler colonialism you could ever imagine. How?
Yes.
He's just demonstrated that the nation-state example doesn't do a good job of. He's using two examples of national groups, who are in conflict with one another. There's no room. They can't come there. One is a dominant settler colonial group that came recently claiming dominance over the land.
Yes, exactly.
On an ethnic basis and ethno-nationalist basis, and the other is a group of people who coalesced into a national liberation movement in opposition to that dominance that has been imposed upon them. Perfect.
Yeah, again, like there are millions of examples of that. Yeah, colonialism made many of them. Yeah, I could like just Control-C, Control-V my previous argument, but yeah, not really feeling like it, so.
Great example how the framework of national liberation is easily applicable in this case and in many other cases. How not? How is it not applicable? Explaining the situation.
Again, because yeah, she doesn't actually care about like Palestinians. Yeah, she is pro-West in many cases, and yeah, this is just an example of like, yeah, her defending Israel because the West defends Israel, and again, that is not anarchist behavior unless like you argue that anarcho-zionism is a thing. I doubt it is. Like, that's probably just a meme, or like similar to the anarcho-Bidenism one, but we don't know.
In Israel-Palestine, that you could that a otherwise marginalized group can be put in charge of a nation state that then goes on to commit genocide. Yeah, this is what? This is an incoherent video. It's not incoherent. You've done nothing. What you just said is nonsensical. Genuinely mean that. So far this is.
That is true. Yeah, I should probably have watched this video, like at least this part, one more time, and probably could have helped. But yeah, I think that I still making like some sort of an argument, like, and I'm not just speaking random bullshit into like a video. So let's continue.
Incoherent video. Okay, we're done with this projection. I just want to see what BadEmpanada said about this because I've watched this video before, but I've forgotten. It wasn't an apartheid-esque situation until the lines were drawn by the settlers, and arguably, what do you think? Who do you think draws the lines everywhere? Who do you think draws the lines? Nation states.
Yes, they do. Or at least, but yeah, like basically, yeah, it's like, yeah, essentially just nation states. I somewhat agree.
Nation states draw arbitrary lines. This is.
Yes, indeed, it is an arbitrary line. An extremely inconvenient line for Palestine. Wait, actually, it was the UN, I think, in this specific case, that drew like this specific border between Israel and Palestine in 1949 or 48, I think. But yeah, like most of the rest of the time, it's probably because of nation states and yeah, just deciding, all right, let's make like this straight line on the middle of the desert. Yeah, absolutely, totally like how you split up shit.
The fucking idiotic anarchist argument par excellence. The national liberation struggle in Palestine doesn't matter because nation states all bad. Nation states all bad.
Again, both are wrong. Both Demon and B make a pretty bad point. But B, I guess it's a bit more understandable since yeah, it's in retaliation to the first, and yeah. So essentially, what I can understand from the video is that basically Demon tries to like frame yeah, her attempts at like Zionism, basically like liberal Zionism, as even B himself put it, as like actually like anarchism, but B actually believes that it is anarchism and thus goes to debunk that. That is essentially like assisted strawman, I will say. Literally, essentially like imagine if like I made a response video to like someone like Colin Maupin, okay? He isn't really like that much of like an authoritarian side of like the left, but yeah, he's kind of shitty. So I make a response video about him and then claim that every single Marxist Leninist is like that. Problem is, they aren't like that, and I know that. Yeah, essentially an assisted attempt at a strawman. Yeah, essentially making a bad point, and then the other person thinking that the actual point is by that belief and going on to debunk that point, and since that point is bad, the belief is bad. Yeah. So with that conclusion, I think we can finish off the video. I probably could not have timed this in like a worse manner. Like, I specifically, yeah, probably should have recorded this and at another hour. You might have heard why. Um, yeah, no, but yeah. So we're going to like end it up here. Um, yeah, I guess thank you for watching. Like, maybe subscribe, maybe like, maybe yeah, maybe share, but maybe like dislike, maybe like make a 50-minute response video to this video, like so we can have like a 5-layer response video, or some shit like that. Um, yeah, thank you for like all the people that are new and you are joining because of my previous video about Bosch. Yeah, like that. I'm finally somewhat like growing on my own, but yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. See you later, I guess. Bye.